Welcome to the Community of Relationships Work. I'm Laurie Hollander,
And I'm Bob Hollander.
and we are here to give you 4 tips to stay awake in your marriage or your relationship. It's very important, Bob, to stay awake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've noticed that in our relationship and other relationships.
Yes, because
Yes.
sometimes we all fall asleep,
Yeah.
literally and metaphorically, right?
Right. And even though you might think that you are awake in your marriage, the way I guess the way we define the word sleep and the
Mm-hmm.
way we define the word awake might be just a little bit different than how you define it.
Yeah, it's sort of like when you go on a long trip in your car, and before you know it, you're at your destination, but you have no recollection of having gotten there. And that is what we're talking about when we say fall asleep in your relationship, especially after people have kids and life gets so hectic and busy. It's almost like everything becomes the same one day after the next, and people let go of their relationships and it goes on the back burner. And that becomes a great problem because love doesn't last if you don't consciously create it every single day. And it doesn't just stay.
Yeah, you can't put it on automatic pilot.
Right.
I mean, you get to your destination, but you're not there for the journey
You're
a
not
lot
there
of
together.
times.
So, our first tip is observe love. And by that, we mean it's important to be an observer, to sort of take notice of your partner. Like, Bob, sometimes when you're hanging out with the kids and I just am sort of watching you and thinking about what a great dad you are, and
Hmm.
or if I'm watching you put the dishes away and watching you toil, which I love, and I'm just sort of thankful and thinking about how, lucky I am to have you.
Well, I'm lucky to have you. And I think I could miss that fact a lot of times if I'm in the routine.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have to do, and I know I'm not really good at this anyway, but multitasking, I have to do some mental multitasking. I have to
Okay.
be in the relationship, working with you, making sure our kids are fed and there's a house over their head and we're saving for our retirement. And somewhere up here, looking at you and look over there. See these curls? A lot of times when we're doing therapy together, I look at these curls. These little moments that just add a spark, and I remember past sparks. So just observing the love I have for you, so almost out of context from
Mm-hmm.
what I might be doing in the moment.
Tip number 2 is to create loving habits. And my favorite loving habit, Bob, that you created was that when the kids were little and we were going to our second office and you left before me, you would always leave me a Diet Coke and a little yellow sticky with a note on it that said, "Love you, can't wait till you come home." Maybe you just drew a heart, but I saved all those notes. And that was a habit that you got into, so it wasn't difficult for you to remember to do it. But every time I saw that, it meant so much to me.
Yeah.
So that's a loving habit.
And didn't you like the fact that I didn't get a case of soda, but I made sure to run across the block with all that traffic
Yes.
to Pizza Boli
Yes.
to come back every time?
Uh-huh.
And so it was
One
really
soda at a time.
one soda at a time. And to show you and so a habit that really was substantive. It meant something. It meant something to me too, and reminded me that I really do care for you.
Number 3 is make love. So often in practice, we see couples who come in and tell us they haven't made love in years, or maybe they make love once a month or once every 6 months, and they really have allowed the sexual part of their relationship to die or to fade. And it is so important to stay awake in your sexual life.
Right. When you have an active sexual life that's comfortable for both parties, you are awake. And
Mm-hmm.
although sometimes you might necessarily not be in that specific mood to
Mm-hmm.
have some kind of a sexual contact,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to be awake to sensually come together and find out what can go on, but at least be cognizant of that.
Right. So the fourth point is give love a voice. And by that we mean telling your partner in words that you love them every single day. Bob and I make a habit of doing that, and it's so vital to recognize your partner and speak those words. And it could be, I love you. It could be a word of gratitude. Thank you for,
Mm-hmm.
you know, cooking dinner
Mm-hmm.
or mowing the grass.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to give a voice to love.
And I think a lot of men out there feel those things, and emotionally they feel them, and I wonder why. It's a
Mhm.
question that we, all men and women should ask. If they are feeling it, why are they not expressing it?
Right.
And maybe it's a sense of vulnerability or whatever, but that's the key to staying
Mhm.
awake, being active and actively talking about
Exactly.
what you're feeling.
Hmm. So, actively emotionally loving your partner and actively physically loving your partner, and it all sort of, goes together and integrates. So, stay awake in your relationship and remember to appreciate your partner.
Right.
All right.
Can we go to bed now?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll see you next
Take
week.
care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.